while we're letting everybody in. Let's see. Oh, popping in. And we just keep increasing every single month. I know. How many members do we have now, Valerie?
How many folks have signed up to attend?
Yes, uh-huh.
1,433.
Wow. So, hey, we're growing. And anybody that's just joining in, then we are going to welcome you. And it is a great day for NAMB's Inspire, a women's mentoring course. And we are, like I was saying, we're building all the time. And if you're not a NAMB member, you got to join because NAMB is just doing great things right now. We're just, it's moving faster than I ever dreamed it could move. And thank you, Valerie, for helping to move it so fast.
You're
And
welcome.
would you go ahead and tell us a little bit about the brand new thing that's going on right now with Inspire? I love that. What are you calling it?
It's called NAMB Elevate.
Love
So
it.
it is it is a mentoring program. We just sort of initially did a soft launch, I guess we'll call it, yesterday, where we are looking for mentors. So if anybody is interested in potentially being a mentor, I'm going to put the link in the chat. You can visit the website. We have 8 different tracks that you can be a mentor for, one of which is the Women's Inspire group, but they vary from business formation, marketing, compliance, processing, underwriting. We have a young professionals track. So if you are interested, please click the link in the chat, go to the website, check everything out, and we hope you apply.
Thanks, Valerie. And our leadership team does consist of Laura Brandeo with Lighthouse Advisors, Valerie Saunders. She is the Chief Executive Strategist at NAM. Chelsea Blaylock is Vice President of Operations at the Pension Source. And I am Linda McCoy with Mortgage Team one of the founding members of Inspire. And it's very exciting today. We do have a guest speaker, and I'm going to go ahead. We always try to be very, considerate of your 30-minute time that you've allotted for this, so that we're going to go ahead and Laura Brandeo is going to go ahead and introduce our speaker, Carol Morris, today. And if y'all don't listen to uh, Laura Brandeo's Wednesday Wisdom, because Carol was a guest speaker on that recently. And I'm telling you, you're missing out. You really are. And Valerie had Monday. What do you call your Monday?
Weekly Success Builder.
Yes, and I listened to that yesterday, and we had Jason with
Yeah.
CIC Credit on there, and he was talking about the new Vantage scoring. So everything's going on at NAM. You just got to get connected. So anyway, Laura, I'm going to turn it over to you so you can introduce our guest speaker today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Linda, and welcome everyone. So before I introduce who our amazing speaker is today, I want to give a shout out to Catalina because our guest speaker actually came to us by one of our NAM Inspired members. She reached out and said, you know what? I know this fabulous woman leader, and I think that all of you and everyone else also needs to get to know her. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce Carol Morris. She is the founder of the Image Impact Group. What she does is she helps client-facing executives and leadership teams strategize and build visible credibility, aligning leadership, impact, and messaging with executive presence and expert engagement. She takes that and makes it a cohesive, trusted leadership presence. So, with all of that, Carol, please let's educate all of us and allow us to be inspired.
Well, thank you for such a great intro. And hello, everybody. And Catalina, I believe you're out there. So hello and thank you. It's great to be here. And, when Laura asked me to come on and talk about mortgage, talk to you guys in the mortgage industry. It is kind of near and dear to me. My mom was a realtor for, gosh, probably 30 years. And I actually did a little real estate with her back in my 20s. And so it's a profession that I really feel very close to. So it's very cool to be here. So one of the questions that I have for you is, what do they find when they find you? Now, who is they? They could be your ideal client. They could be your ideal purchaser. They could be your ideal employer. That is who you need to keep in mind when you're being vetted. Because the truth, my friends, is that you are being vetted. You're being vetted right now. You're being vetted when you go to sleep tonight. You're being vetted when you're at your kid's hockey game. You are being vetted. People are Googling you. And, business traditionally, back in the day, let's say, was done through handshakes, right? And it was done through referrals and references. And they still are happening. We know that to be true. But the other part of it now is Google and LinkedIn. So no longer are people just taking a referral and going with it. Now what's happening is they're doing their due diligence digitally as well. And when they do that due diligence, what comes up tells a story. And if the story matches the recommendation and referral that they were given, that's gold, right? That's not a warm lead, that's a hot lead. But if that referral and that testimonial said one thing and digitally they find something totally different or nothing at all or dated, guess what they're doing? They're going to the other referral that they got, and you are missing business. And that hurts. I mean, that hurts your bottom line, that hurts your pocketbook, that hurts your own ability to pay a mortgage. And that's where a lot of people today are just missing the boat. And, there's really been this reality shift. Like I said, we used to think that visibility meant that, we could go to a networking meeting, or we could send a flyer, or we could sponsor a golf outing. And that's not really where it ends. That's where it could start, but where it ends is really what is happening digitally and your visible credibility that goes along with it. So conversely, right, if they find you digitally and then they meet you at a golf outing and you look totally different, that's problematic. That's also problematic. So there has to be that consistency. And, somebody the other day said, "Oh, you look exactly like you do in your pictures." And I thought, well, that's a bonus. That's the way it's supposed to happen. That's a good thing. So you want to have that consistency, because consistency is what drives the confidence. Confidence is what drives the trust, and trust is what drives them signing on the bottom line. Okay. Now, there are 3 questions that they are looking for answers for before they pull the trigger. And one of those is, can I trust you, right? This is all about authority and building of credibility. And, your online presence, like I said, has got to be really clear. It's got to be clear that you're experienced. It has to be clear that you're credible in whatever niche that you're in. And there has to be some social proof. And again, that's where people sometimes miss the boat, and the opportunity is to provide that social proof. So what could social proof look like? It could be a video simply of you talking about your strategy and your processes, right? It could be a testimonial that you received. It could be a behind the scenes look at the day in the life of Laura Brandeo, as long as Laura is posting that. Because here's the other pitfall that I see often, is that people will not post their own content and their own thought leadership, but instead they will share somebody else's. And that's a nice thing to do, but really what's happening is you're promoting somebody else and not yourself. Unless you tell your side of what's happening, right? And so that does help it a little bit, but it's still, maybe taking meat off of your plate to put it on somebody else's. And again, that's okay if that's your intention, but I think a lot of times it's pure laziness. So don't be afraid to share that social proof in those testimonials. And think about this too. If you were to invest $250,000 of your own money into a home or to a business, would you do your due diligence to look up who is on the other end helping you? Or would you just say, oh yeah, I'll just give it to them? It'll be fine. I don't really know their process, but I'll go ahead and give them the 250 and we'll see what happens. I see Linda and Laura saying no. And that's what I really want you guys to be cognizant of, is that that's what's happening on the other side, is that this is one of the biggest purchases and investments that people will make. And you have a lot of due diligence and a lot of, what do I want to say, fiduciary responsibility to them to make them feel like they can trust you and that what they're doing and how they're signing on the bottom line is a good, positive thing. And I want you again, kind of think back to this. If you were looking up the person that somebody suggested that you work with, and let's say they gave you two referrals, one had all kinds of information that you could see how they work, what their success rate was. You got to hear and listen to them, so it made you feel a little bit more secure. And the other person hadn't posted anything in the last 10 years. They hadn't updated. They never comment anybody's things. They look you up on Google. They really can't find any bio information. There's no photos. Who are you going to pick? Who are you going to pick in today's world, right? That's that's the lingo, but it's true. In today's world, you're not going to pick the person that is not showing up. You're going to pick the person where you can do the research that makes you feel really, really comfortable. Okay. Now, the second question is, how are you relevant to my needs? At the core of it, your client is worried about who? Themselves and the money that they're putting out there. They are not worried about you and how flashy you are. They are literally worried about, am I making a good choice? Flashy doesn't do it for them. That's not what they're looking for. Confidence and credibility is what they're looking for, right? And one thing that I see happen a lot with businesses is that they will give everybody generic branding and nobody stands out. Everybody looks the same. They're all posting the same thing. And again, that doesn't really help. So generic equals boring, and we don't understand what's happening. If somebody is taking the time and is investing in showcasing how they can help and what solutions they provide to their ideal buyer, that makes us feel better. Going back to the $250,000 question, what makes you feel better? Just generic branding or something that you can really relate to? And clear positioning. Who you help, how you help, and why you're different makes a difference. Generic, boring, we don't get it, we don't understand it. Keying in on what makes them really valuable to you makes you feel better. Oh, they're invested in their business. They're invested in making me feel better. I do feel better. Now, imagine, if you will, again, that a home buyer is referred to two different people or two different mortgage reps. And again, one you go on and it's just the same content, and all they're talking about is the business, not the business, I'm sorry, but the actual company itself. That's all you see. Company-wide things. Now, imagine that the other person has, I help people secure loans to buy the dream house of their choice. And then there's supporting elements about that. So you've got somebody that just has their, what is it? I want to say MLS because that's the real estate, but the mortgage equivalent to that, right? They just have that number after their broker number versus telling somebody what they actually do and how they can actually help. It makes a difference. There's small little things that take the scary out of a big investment. And by doing that, you are showcasing your own personal brand. And by the way, everybody, we know this to be true. You know, as much as we are invested in businesses and we love the company that we work for, you know, at the drop of a dime, a company can go away. And when you are investing in your own personal brand rather than just promoting that business, who, by the way, is not paying you to promote yourself on LinkedIn, you are giving up the ability to showcase who you are. And when you take that ability to build your own personal brand, if the shoe drops and they go away, you still have built a reputation based on who you are. And that's important. That's really important. I have a client who I actually have two different clients that aren't selling anything. A lot of my clients are um, uh, in the business development world, they're founders, that type of thing. But I have an in-house attorney and I have a senior engineering manager. And neither one of them are selling a darn thing, but what they are doing is building up their personal brand and their credibility so that they get to take charge of what comes next, whether that is by default of losing their job because of downsizing or because they're ready for that next step. They're taking control of that. And by the way, because they're taking control of that, they've built a reputation not only with the outside connections that they have, but they've also built a reputation internally. So you never know what will happen internally when you step out of the shadows and start building the credibility and strength of your own personal brand and what you uniquely bring to the table. So it's not only helping you with your clients that are looking for you, but it may also help you with that next step internally and getting to the next goal that you have within your company. Maybe it's leadership. Maybe it's leadership. All right. So luxury home, I help you with a luxury home. I help you with the dream house of your choice or a number. Your choice, right? All right. The next one I have for you is, will you show up consistently? Will you show up consistently? Again, you hop on, you go to Google, and by the way, everybody, if you Google yourself right now, probably what will happen is LinkedIn will be the first, second, or third search result. And that then leads people to vet you on LinkedIn, right? So that's why I talk about LinkedIn a lot, because it is a platform that's incredibly important, right? And when I talk about this showing up consistently idea, when you show up consistently one place, the chances are that you'll show up consistently somewhere else in your life. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So, people have confirmation bias, right? So if they see something and they make a decision on it, they're ready to continue that decision down the line. So if they see that you're showing up consistently on LinkedIn and you're constantly giving strategies and behind the scenes looks and really showcasing how you can help people, the bias of that is that is what you will do for them personally. And that carries a lot of weight. Now, conversely, if they look and something looks dated, it looks like they haven't been there in a long time, it looks like they are broadcasters, not engagers, meaning that they throw a lot of content up, but they never engage with anything, that also works against you, because are they just in it for the money? Are they so out of touch with reality that they are going to treat me like this is 1984? Those are all the things that go through people's heads when they're investigating you and when they're vetting you. And the cool part about, and the opportunistic part about this, is that when you spend time to really take charge of your personal brand and your visibility, it will be the gift that keeps on giving. Remember at the beginning of this, I said you're being vetted not just now, but when you're asleep tonight. And it's you taking charge of the message. And so that when people are looking for you, there's a very clear cut message about how you help, who you help, why you help, and why they should choose you versus the unknown. And the unknown means that now we're making up our own story. So you haven't posted since, 10 years ago. It may be that there was a whole valid reason why that never happened, but the person investigating you doesn't know that. And quite frankly, doesn't care, because now they're making up their own story. And we don't want that to happen. And yes, it is an investment of time, it's an investment of energy, and it will be an investment of money, whether it's because you're spending your own time, which is valuable, or because you're hiring an outside agency or person to do it for you. But think of the ROI on that. How much do you make per loan closed? I don't know the answer to that, but how much would it cost for you to be in the public eye? So let's say if you spent $10 in the public eye and giving the right, and by the way, that's a very low cost. I'm just making things up here. But if it cost you $10 and what you reap is $20, $30, that's a pretty nice ROI. So you have to think about that. This is part of business development, and it's a part of business development that is extremely important and sometimes, quite frankly, forgotten. And it is a money maker. It really is a money maker. So again, people want to know that you're not a one and done, that you're not going to just treat them like a conveyor belt, that you are not invested in what's happening. They want to make sure that there's consistent communication. Can I depend on you? Do I understand what's happening with my mortgage and my loan? And now that the mortgage is closed, do I understand what's happening now? Did the rates come down and I should refinance? They want to know that. And I will tell you, I just bought a house a little over 2 years ago, and I did not get a great rate, but I got a great house. That being said, I'm waiting for that. And I do appreciate that I get emails. I do appreciate that I'll get some phone calls. But what I don't appreciate is that I'm not getting personalized attention to some degree to walk me through when is the right time to make that reinvestment in myself, right? So if you are the person that takes that extra step, those are the things that we remember as purchasers, as your client. That's what we remember. It's the extra things that you can do. And it doesn't have to take a long time, right? But an automated message or a piece of paper that I know everybody else got and really doesn't tell me anything doesn't help me. That just fills my garbage pail. Now, if I had somebody popping in every week talking about things because they're sharing a video with me, maybe I might read it every week. Wait, maybe I won't. But guess who I'm going to remember? The person that made the effort. The person that made the effort. How are we doing on time? Doing all right?
We've got like 7 minutes.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Excellent. Okay. So I want you again to think about hiring a financial planner. And this actually happened to me a little bit ago. I had some money that I wanted to move within my 401k. And they said, hey, we would love for you to talk about talk to a financial planner, et cetera, et cetera. I didn't have anybody that I really was into right then. And so I said, sure, I'll talk to somebody. So what did I do? I immediately got on my little keyboard and in my computer and I looked him up. And what I found was that he graduated from a local Michigan college. Okay, that's great. I also found that he played football, which, okay, that's great. My son played 5 years of college hockey. I understand the dedication that takes, but that was it. And just because you can handle being a student athlete does not mean that you can handle my money. And so, not because he isn't a good financial planner, because I don't know, I canceled it. I was not comfortable. There was nothing at all that gave me any feeling of confidence that this was the person that I should put my hard-earned money into their hands. And again, that's what's happening with your clients and your and whether those clients are the realtors themselves who are recommending you, or if somebody is coming directly to you. They have to know that you're in it and that you've got credibility. You have got to build the credibility to build the trust. The trust is what's going to get you the business versus, your counterpart. All right. So on that note, I want you guys to take some time and I want you to Google yourself and I want you to look on your LinkedIn profile and I want you to put yourselves in the position of your buyer. And does what you see there showcase you as somebody that's trustworthy? Does it give them any information as to how you personally work with your clients, not the business, but you personally? And does it showcase a person that can be trusted with a great deal of money? It's no joke, you guys. I mean, I don't know if everybody here has bought a house, but it's scary. It's scary. It is a big chunk of change. And then when the rates are high, it's even scarier because you know that you're on the cusp of maybe where you shouldn't be with hopes of something else, right? And when you're giving false promises or you're not following through with promises, it does not help anybody. So being able to showcase how you do that in a digital world makes a world of difference. And then again, I'm going to say it again, conversely, if they're going to see you in person, please show up in the way that you're presenting yourself online. You've got to have that consistency. Otherwise, there's confusion. When there's confusion, that's when the competitor gets your business. So what I am going to suggest to you guys, and I can put this in the chat, I have a short 5-minute visibility assessment and take it and see where you fall. There's 15 questions and I'll come back and give you my 2 cents as to where I think you are and what you need to think about, but it will get the wheels spinning a little bit more. And, if this is something that you are really serious about, again, it is an investment. Of course, it's an investment, but I am happy to talk to you. We work with client-facing leaders to up their visibility game so that the trust is there and the bottom line grows. Well, thank you guys. I would love to answer any questions that you have. Let me know how I can help. Oh, everybody's muted.
Go ahead and put that in the chat, Carol.
All right.
And if girls, if you have credibility in the marketplace, but no one knows about you, then you might need Carol Morris. She helps her clients with visibility, credibility, visible credibility. And that is, if she puts that in there, then we can all go and do that. And Chelsea, if you want to tell them just a quick, got a few minutes just about our mentorship program. And we are going to thank Catalina for having you join us because that is wonderful. You're such a perfect inspiration for all of us. And thank you so much. Chelsea?
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much, Carol. About a year ago, I upped my visibility game and I'm like really in it now. It takes effort, it takes time, but I'm really happy I started that journey a year ago. So appreciate you giving more insight on that. From our mentorship program, we are going to be a piece of a larger puzzle when it comes to mentorship for NAMB in the future. And so right now, I know we've talked a lot about getting mentees and mentors. We're really needing mentors at this time. We're really trying to make sure that we fill up our bucket full of mentors. So when this larger kind of puzzle comes together, we're able to really fit into it nicely and start the program going really smooth. So I can go ahead and send out a link, but if you filled out the form to be a mentor before, I have reached out to a couple of people just to get some more information on you. So please check your inboxes. It would be coming from, I'll put the email address in the chat, but chelsea@thinknovi.com. And so you should have been reached out to. If you haven't, I'll go ahead and post the link to the form that you can fill out to be a mentor as well. But we're really trying to get the mentors in place so that we could really have a larger program in place more towards the end of this year. So appreciate everybody for that.
And it is right at the time. So, and thank you so much for joining us today. And we hope that you come back next month, same time, second Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern time for another NAMB's Inspire, a women's mentoring group. Thank you all, and we look forward to seeing you next month.
Before
Thanks, everybody. If anybody needs my information, please reach out to Laura. She's got everything you need.
And Carol,
Good
did
deal.
you put that link?
I did. Yep. Here,
Okay,
I can do
wonderful for
one more.
everyone looking for it. It's
Yeah.
right in the chat.
There you go. I just put
Thank
it up
you.
one more time.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Bye.
Carol. Great job.
Bye.